Okay, so the keyword that I want to talk about today is a non-recipe keyword because I know a lot of us are not just producing recipe posts on our blogs. This one is one that I targeted. How long ago was it? Let's see. I published this in the fall of last year. So I would say, what was that, 8 months? July, August, September, October, about 8 months ago. And I'm in the first position, which is nice. So this keyword is party ideas for 13th birthday. And you can see here. So let me research this and show you what pops up. So this is the first keyword. It's 8100 volume. We're in US location. 8100 volume is good enough for anybody. And, unless we're so big that that's just beneath our standards. But I think most of us would say that's a great volume to target. I'm going to sort the volume from greatest to least, and I'm going to show you that this variation comes up, which didn't come up before. Oh, and so does this variation. And I want you guys to tell me, are these three keyword variations similar? Party ideas for 13th birthday, 13th birthday party ideas for 13th birthday. They're all so similar and hitting on the same exact user intent. And look, the volume is exactly the same. So that's a clue, or I should say maybe like a red flag, that you're not going to collect. If you rank in the first position for these keywords, you're not going to get 25,000 monthly volume, or even 30% of that total, because we shouldn't be adding these up, because key search is doing this has to do with the close variant grouping of keywords. And basically they're taking all of these and they're adding up the volume that you would get individually, and they're putting it as 180-100. So whenever you see very, very, very similar keywords, and I mentioned this in a previous video, but I think it's so important to point out, you're not going to add these up. You're just going to consider one of the volumes and say, okay, if I rank for these, I can expect to get about 8100. Of course, 30% of that 8100. Okay, so know that, right? And then, so let me just point out here, I'm in the first position. Here I am for this keyword. So if I put my URL in Explorer and then I click on the keyword, I'm going to show you what I did. I put my URL here and then I put specific page, and then I'm looking at the keywords, and you can see in the first, let's see so just so I can get a better estimation to see if I'm really truly getting the traffic that it says. So 12,000 plus 3, and then, here's another, that's in the second position though. So that's, I would have to add less than that, but let's say it's about 13,000. Total monthly search volume to expect in the first position. So let's take about 30% of that. So 30% of, let's do 30% of 13,000 is 0.3, about 3.6, 3.9 thousand monthly searches is what I should get based on the statistics of, click-through rate. But I'm only getting about 1.6 thousand a month for this post. So that's interesting, right? Because I'm not grouping the variants together, and I'm not getting, and this is US volume. So why aren't I getting more volume for that? So then I looked, of course, in Google, and let me go back. Let me go to here. Party ideas for 13th birthday. Here I am. But what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 ads above my organic result, which is super frustrating and something that I'm sure is affecting that 3.6, 3.9 thousand that I should be getting. So that kind of sucks, but it's not something that what should have been a surprise if I'd done my research before. And I can't remember, in September what I was thinking when I was researching, or if I was like, I'm just going to go for it and I'm going to just, hope that I get the first organic result below the ads, which I did. And that's fine. But when you think about that, you either want to be okay with receiving only, 1.6 thousand monthly visits, which for most of us, I think that's pretty good, that we would all take that. But think about it, if the total volume was for a smaller keyword, you have to understand and ask yourself, like, this is the volume that I should expect to get, is that okay with me? If it ends up being, after all the math is done, about 300 monthly searches or 200, it may not be worth your time. So make sure you always look in Google to see, well, who's above? Is it a recipe first? Is it a informational post first? Is it a sponsored ad? Is it a product? And then let that make your decision, and try to estimate about how much traffic you would expect to get to decide if it's really worth going after. This would still be worth going after, in my opinion, even after all that volume, because we started at such a high volume. Okay. But if we're starting at a volume of like 500 for another keyword, it may not, if there's ads and other things in the way, it may not be worth going after. So keep that in mind. Another thing before I end this video is that I thought was interesting. You see this keyword, party ideas for 13th birthday. So that syntax, keep in mind. And then 13th birthday party ideas. Aren't these keywords the same? Isn't the user intent the same? But look down here, Aleka's get together is in the 3rd position. So why am I not ranking in the 1st position for both of these keywords if the intent is exactly the same and the keyword is pretty much the same? 13th birthday party ideas, party. So that's something I'm going to look into, because I don't like that 13th birthday party ideas. You see how here's the ads again. This is Happy Mom Hacks, they're pulling this snippet. So I'm going to try my best to get in this position if I can, but I'm down here below her. So, and below this other blogger. So I'm going to try my best to do, I think this is really helping her rank higher. So I have to figure out what is she doing a little bit differently than me? Why are the results for this one and the other keywords that are almost exactly the same coming up differently? She's all the way down here for this keyword, which I'm first. So I don't understand this. I'm going to keep an eye on this, these results, and see if they change anytime soon. But some things to keep in mind. Key search overall does seem to give pretty accurate estimations if you are considering user intent and location search volume, right? So if you guys come across any other discrepancy, make sure you're checking those other things first to see if it's truly accurate. Seasonal keywords also make a difference, and then let me know if you have a question. But overall, key search is doing pretty good. I will say there's some other things I want to talk about in future videos, but I really hope that was helpful for you guys. And let me know if you have any questions about any of these, any discrepancy issue or key search.